Hello students, welcome back to my channel Mind Your Exam. In this video, we would be studying about the built-in functions that are provided by the Python programming language to manipulate or change or modify the strings that are present in the Python programming language. Okay, so starting with the first built-in function, the length function. So the length function basically returns the length of the string that is passed as an argument to this particular function. Okay, so if we have a string str1 having the value hello world, so when you apply this length function to this string and you pass the string as an argument to this function, you will get the count of characters that are present in that particular string. In this case, 12 characters are present. The length of the string is 12, so the answer is 12. Okay, the next function is title function. So how do you use the title function? You call the title function with the string specified at the first place. Then you specify a dot operator which indicates to the Python interpreter that on this particular string, call this particular function, the title function in this case. Okay, so title function, what it does, it takes every word of this string str1 and it capitalizes the first letter of each word. Okay, and what it does for all the remaining characters that are present in each word, it converts them to lowercase character. So basically this particular function changes the casing of the string into the title case. And what is a title case? If a sentence or if a string is written in title case, each word of that string will have the first letter capitalized and all the remaining letters of each word would be present in lowercase letters. Okay, lowercasing. So in this case, the string originally had the value hello written in lowercase and world written in uppercase, and the result would be a new string because strings are immutable. So the new string would have the first character H capitalized, the first character of the second word also capitalized, and all the remaining characters converted to lowercase. Okay, then comes the lower built-in function. Again, the lower built-in function will be called on this particular string instead of passing the string as an argument. Okay, so you will use the dot operator to call this particular function on whichever string you want to use it on. And this particular function, what it does, it converts the entire string to lowercase characters. No matter what the original casing was, the result would be all characters, all alphabetic characters converted to lower casing. Similarly, the complementary function is the upper function which converts all characters to uppercase characters, and again, irrespective of the initial casing, the resulting string will have all uppercase characters. Next is the count function. Now the count built-in function takes in 3 arguments. Okay, the first argument is a string. So basically this function allows you to count how many times this particular string str, which is passed as an argument, this particular string is appearing within the string on which the function has been called. And from where to where we have to search? We have to search between the starting and ending indices. Okay, so when you want to invoke or call this particular function, count function, on a string named str1, how will you do it? You will write str1 dot count, and within the function you will specify 3 arguments. The first argument will be a string whose occurrences you want to count. So you want to know how many times this particular string is appearing in this particular original string between this starting index and this ending index. Okay, so basically when you do this particular when you give this particular command to the Python interpreter, the interpreter will check how many times the string hello in this exact casing is appearing starting from the index 12 and ending at the index 25. Okay, and if we do not specify the starting and ending index, then the complete string is surged. Yani starting index is considered to be 0 and the ending index is considered to be the length of the string. So if we have the original string str1 as hello world, hello hello, and we have specified this particular command, the result will be 2, because after index 12 the word hello is appearing 2 times. However, if we do not specify the last 2 arguments in this function, the entire string will be searched and then the answer would be 3, because from this beginning to the end the word hello is appearing 3 times. Okay, now there is a similar function which is known as the find function. Now what does the find function do? So the count function, what it was doing, it was counting the occurrences of the string that is specified as an argument. In this case, find function will find the first index where this particular string appears in the string that on which the function has been called. Okay, so basically it returns the index value where the string specified in the argument occurs. Okay, and if there is no string occurrence of present in the original string, then the return value is -1. Again, the starting and ending index are optional. If you skip them, the values 0 and the length of the string would be taken as the values. Okay, so if we have a string str1 on which we want to call this find function, and we want to ask the Python interpreter that tell us how many times, that tell us at which index location the word hello is starting or is present, starting from index 10 to 20. So the answer would be 13, because when you count the indices, capital H is at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then this is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and the first hello that is present between the indices 10 and 20 is present at index value 13. Okay, now if we change the index values, the result would definitely change, because then this particular hello, the first hello will be coming at position 19, the index value 19. Okay, and if you skip the starting and ending index, then the result will again change. Also, as I mentioned, that if you try to find a string which does not exist in the string on which the function is being invoked, then the return value would be -1. However, if you want that this should not be the case, that means -1 should not be returned if the string is not present, then what you should do, you should use the index built-in function. This function does the same function, it performs the same thing as the find function, but the only change is that it will raise an exception or an error if the substring is not present in the given string. So if the string specified in the argument is not present in the string on which the function is being invoked, then an error will be displayed, okay, instead of -1. Now the next function is the ends with function. So as it is clear from its name, it will be invoked on a string and it will try to find out whether this particular string ends with the string that is specified in the argument. If it is true, then the return value would be boolean true, else the return value would be false. Okay, the opposite or the contradictory built-in function for ends with is starts with, which checks whether the string that is passed as an argument is the string with which the main string on which the function is being invoked starts. Okay, so if we have a string str1 with the same value hello world and we check str1 dot starts with he, then this case is true, so true would be returned, else false would be returned. Okay, so coming to the next built-in function, this is the isAllNum function. So again, this function would return a boolean value, true or false, and what it does, it checks whether the string on which this particular function is being invoked contains either alphabets or numbers or both. If any special character or white spaces are also a part of the string, or the string is empty, then the return value would be false. Otherwise, if only alphabets or only numbers or both the two, a combination of two is also present in the string on which this function is being invoked, then the return value would be true. Okay. Then there is a function called the isLower function, which will return true if the entire string contains only lowercase alphabets. Okay, and that means that all the alphabets are in lowercase. Any other special symbols or numbers can be present, but all the characters which are alphabet should be in lowercase. So if you have this particular original string and you ask the compiler whether this string contains all lowercase letters, then with the function isLower, then the return value would be true. Again, if you pass this particular string, if you call isLower function on this particular string, then also the return value would be true, because all the alphabets are lowercase alphabets. The same holds for the special symbols. If any special symbols are present on the string in which you are invoking this particular function, but if you invoke isLower function on a string that does not contain any characters whatsoever, the return value would be false. Okay, and similarly, if any uppercase characters are present, the return value would be false. So the contrasting function to isLower function is the isUpper function, which checks whether the characters present in this on the string on which the function is being invoked are uppercase characters or not, and if the characters are not uppercase characters, then in that case the return value is false, otherwise it is true. Okay, so coming to the next function, the next function is isSpace. So this function checks whether the string on which this function is being invoked contains only space characters. And what I mean by space characters, any kind of white spaces like a single blank, a tab, a return, a new line, anything. But if anything apart from these characters is present, like any string or any number, then the return value would be false. Okay. Now, as we have studied the title function, there is a similar function isTitle, which checks whether the string is in title case or not. That means if every word of the string is having the first letter capitalized and rest all letters, all alphabetic letters small in lowercase, then the return value would be true, else the return value would be false. There can be special characters present, it does not matter, as long as the alphabets follow the title case. Now the next function is the lstrip function. Lstrip basically means left strip. That means to remove all the white spaces that are present on the left side of the string. So when the lstrip function is called on a string, basically the return value is a string that contains the all the left end characters, left side blank spaces removed, and it returns the remaining string. The contrasting function is rstrip, which removes all the white spaces that are present on the right hand side or the right end of the string. It will not remove any spaces, tabs, or new lines present on the left side. Okay, see, in the return value there is a space present between the first word and the starting of the string, because this function has only removed the right end white spaces. Now if you want to remove all the white spaces, no matter where they are present, the right end or the left end, you can use the strip function. So be careful that this strip function will not remove the spaces, the white spaces that are present between the words. It will only remove extreme right side white space before the first character appears, or extreme left side white space. Okay, then the next function is the replace function, in which what you do is you specify two strings as an argument, and every time this first string appears in the string on which the function is being invoked, this old string is replaced with the second argument, the new string. Okay, so if you have a string str1 on which you are invoking the replace function, or you're calling the replace function, and you have specified two strings as an argument, the first argument is the one which you want to replace. So in this case, you want to replace all O's with the star character. So in the hello world string, the O's will be replaced by the star or the asterisk character. Okay. Then comes the join function. The join function, what it would do is, okay, so let's take one more example from this previous function. See, you can not only specify a single character in the as the arguments, you can also specify complete strings consisting of multiple characters, alphabets, and numbers. Like in this case, if your string is hello world hello, and you try to replace each hello with a by, then the resulting string would be by world y. Okay, coming to the next function, the join function. So basically the join function, it basically returns the string joined with a particular separator. Okay, so it returns a string in which the characters have been joined by a separator. So if you have this particular string, and you have a second string which is actually the separator with which now you want to separate each character of this original string. So what will you do? You will say string 2 dot join string 1. So what it does, see, it is very important to see the order in which you are specifying the command here. The separator is the string on which the function is being invoked, and as an argument you are passing the string whose characters you want to join or separate with this separator. Okay, so you will get a string in which each character will be separated, or will have the separator string between itself. Okay, between every two characters, the separator string would be present. Now coming to the last two functions, the partition function and the split function. So the partition function basically gives you the first occurrence of the separator, okay, in the string on which the partition function is being called. So if you have this string, India is a great country, and you call partition function on this particular string, you specify the separator or the argument as the string is. So what will happen is the partition function will return three values. What will those be What will those values be? The first value returned by this partition function will be the substring that is present before this value in the original string. Then the second value will be the separator itself, this particular argument, and the third would be the string that is present after this separator value in the original string. So since is a part of the original string str1, the return value would be three strings. First string would have the value India present before the separator, which is the second return value, and the third return value would be the substring present after is, which is a great country. Now if the separator is itself not present inside this particular string, what will happen? So the first return value would be the complete string, the second string would be empty, and the third string would also be empty. Okay, so this is an important example. Now, coming to the last built-in function that we will be studying in this lecture is split. So what split does, it basically returns a list of words which such that these words are delimited by the substring specified as the argument. And if there is no delimiter that is present within the original string, then the words are separated by space. So the original string, if you have, is India is a great country, and you specify str1 dot split. Now in this case, no delimiter or no argument has been specified to the split function, so a list will be returned such that the default delimiter that would be considered here, or the default argument that would be considered here, will be the space. So what it does, it will split the original string at every place where the space character is occurring. So since the space character is occurring after every word in this particular string, so the return value would be a list containing every word after which the space character is occurring, or every word which is separated by the space character, not after which, because the last word will not have the delimiter. Okay. Now let's consider another example. So the same string, if we try and get the value of this string when we split this string using the delimiter A. So what will actually happen? A is appearing at this particular position, at the last position in the word India. So the first return value in the list is INDI. Then the next value is space, then there is the character A which will not be returned, then you have a space GRE, then the next character would be T space country. Okay, so again an important example to remember. So that was all for today's video. I hope you understood all these built-in functions. In case you have any doubt, you can refer to us in the comment, let us know in the comment section below. So keep watching our videos till we meet in the next video. Mind your exam.